Okay, so what if you could actually engineer world peace? It sounds like science fiction, right? Well, today, we're going to deconstruct a fascinating blueprint that tries to do exactly that. And believe it or not, it all starts with a single orchard in Portugal. It is a bold, ambitious plan, so let's get into it. At its heart, this whole thing is a story about a journey. It's about starting with something really simple and tangible, a solid foundation, and growing it into this massive, complex, global system. It's a whole new model for how to make progress, built piece by piece. So here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to start with a pretty mysterious resort. Then we'll get into the economic engine that makes it all run. After that, we'll meet Genie, the AI that's guiding the whole system, and check out the Triple Helix blueprint. And then we'll zoom way out to look at the ultimate goal, engineering global peace. All right, so let's ground ourselves in a real place. This whole story doesn't kick off in some high-tech lab or a corporate boardroom. Nope, it starts in a beautiful spot in Portugal. Now, you look at this place, the Royal Oasis de Frades, and you'd probably think, wow, that's a gorgeous luxury eco-resort. And you'd be right. But there is way more going on beneath the surface. This place is designed to be the physical front door to a completely new way of thinking about our economy and our society. So what is this place really? Well, for starters, it's the main experiential destination for a project called the RQ18 Initiative. It's also something they call a kill zone. Think of it as a sanctuary for health that's inspired by the world's blue zones. It's also a major hub for plant-based food innovation. And the whole thing is the flagship for Club Kill, which is this whole new take on hospitality. You know, there's a quote from the source material that just nails it. It says, if the education is the roots and the production is the fruit, then the Royal Oasis is the blossom. It's the beautiful, inviting part of this whole high-tech orchard, which, honestly, is the perfect transition to the next big question. How does an orchard like this actually pay for itself? So, yeah, how does this all work financially? Let's pop the hood and take a look at the economic engine that's supposed to power this entire vision. The core concept is something called a consumer-to-asset economy. It's actually a pretty simple but really powerful idea. Think about it. Normally, when you buy something, your money just goes to a company. But in this model, that revenue is used to buy productive assets that grow in value, like farmland. And then the profits from those assets circle back to the investors. It creates this really cool self-sustaining loop. The system is literally designed to be a self-powering flywheel. It just keeps spinning faster and faster. So it starts with consumer demand. That demand generates revenue, which is then used to buy more land. More land means more production capacity, which an AI then optimizes to squeeze out even more value. These amazing yields then attract more investors, which pumps more money into the system. And, you guessed it, the whole cycle accelerates. It's an engine designed for perpetual growth. And the whole model is so strong because it's built on 4 different drivers all working together. First, it's all backed by land, right? A real hard asset. Second, the production is managed by algorithms, which makes the revenue super stable and predictable. Third, AI comes in and cuts out a ton of middlemen, capturing all this value that's normally lost. And finally, the consumer demand itself is what funds the growth, so investors don't get diluted. The whole thing is just built to be incredibly resilient. Okay, so who's running this whole high-tech orchard? Let's talk about the intelligence layer that manages everything. It's time to meet the master gardener, an AI called Genie. So what exactly is Genie? Well, it stands for Generative Intentional Intelligence. And here's the key difference. Most AIs just analyze data and tell you what might happen. Genie is designed to be prescriptive. It uses these super advanced algorithms to create guaranteed roadmaps for success. So it's not just predicting the future, it's designing a very specific path to get you to the best possible outcome. And this is absolutely crucial. The ethical core of the system. Genie is built from the ground up on a do-no-harm philosophy. This isn't just about crunching numbers for maximum profit. It's explicitly designed to be a guidance system for human-centric goals, for personal growth. You can really see this philosophy play out when you look at how global thinking has shifted over the last decade. I mean, we went from the hope-based cooperation of the Paris Agreement to seeing just how fragile our systems were during COVID. And now, AI is totally reframing global problems as engineering challenges. The big takeaway here is this massive shift from just hoping for a better future to actively engineering one. So we've got the place, we've got the economic engine, and we have the AI. But how does this all actually fit together? Let's take a look at the system's architecture, the blueprint. It's called the Triple Helix framework. The whole idea is to intentionally weave together the three core pillars of society: academia, industry, and government. Because when you integrate them, you create a structure that's just way more balanced, way more resilient, and actually capable of creating real systemic change. And this isn't just a theory, you can see it working in practice back in Portugal. Academia provides the ethical why at the gem property. Industry provides the economic how at the homestead farm, making the stuff that fuels the engine. And government explores the societal where at the Royal Oasis Hub, which is like a test site for new ideas. Each pillar has a clear job and a real physical home. Okay, now let's pull the camera all the way back. Zoom out. With all these different pieces working together, what's the ultimate goal? What is the actual end game here? This slide just captures that huge shift in thinking perfectly. Back in 2015, the big question was, can we cooperate? It was driven by hope. Fast forward to today, and the question is way more urgent and pragmatic. Can we engineer prosperity fast enough to solve our existential problems? It's a total shift from diplomacy to engineering. And that shift leads directly to something called the Peace for Profit framework. The logic is actually kind of brilliant. You make conflict economically irrational. How? By creating deep, undeniable interdependence. Imagine nations sharing massive AI campuses, they call them stargates, that manage critical things like energy, water, and food. When you share the very systems you need to survive, war literally becomes a form of mutual financial self-destruction. Peace becomes, by far, the most profitable option for everyone involved. And listen, this isn't just some far-out theory. It's really just expanding on real-world diplomatic successes like the Abraham Accords, which used economic ties to build new bridges. The vision here is to scale that idea way up into something like a future Cyrus Accords, which could unite even historic rivals through the simple, powerful logic of shared prosperity, completely bypassing all the political baggage. And all of that brings us to this one really powerful conclusion. In this model, peace isn't something you just hope for anymore or spend decades negotiating. It's something you actively design, like a bridge or a skyscraper. It becomes an engineered outcome. So we'll leave you with this question to chew on. Is engineering profitability actually the key to solving our biggest, most complex global challenges? It's a pretty wild and provocative thought to end on.